Gloucestershire's Gareth Roderick scored his maiden first-class 100, a brilliant 152 not out, but his side were left clinging on at the end of the penultimate day of the LV County Championship match with Kent at the Spitfire Ground, St Lawrence in Canterbury. With the weather forecast of something akin to the end of the world for Saturday, the two captains agreed to try to get this game done and dusted with a day to spare, with two declarations which left the visitors a target of 399. And after Hamish Marshall had been strangled down the leg side by Mitch Claydon, the visitors were left on 41 for 4, leaving it to Alex Gidman and Roderick to try to lead a much-needed recovery for their side, who'd already been beaten by Kent in a thriller in Cheltenham this season. These two added 55 for the fifth wicket. Gidman then edged Callum Haggett to James Treadwell to go for 47 and to keep the home side well on top. Roderick was then joined by the younger Gidman Will, and this pair continued to hold the home side back a bit with another handy partnership which realised 42 runs in 14 overs to take Gloucestershire onto 138. But that still left them with 261 more to get, with 6 men out when Gidman was another to get a little tickle to a leg side ball, this time from Stevens as the left-hander departed for 13. Roderick was the only one to stay at it for any length of time, making the most of his good start. For the 6th time in his short first-class career, he raised his bat for a 50, which had come off 92 balls with 8 fours included. He was by no means the county's first-choice keeper as this season got underway, but with knocks like this, he's nailed down the job for some time to come, you would think. Roderick at last found someone to stay with him in the form of Tom Smith, the Middlesex loanee who has had plenty of first-team matches for Gloucestershire this summer and has proved to be a very useful acquisition. He now joined forces with Roderick, even though their side was still an awful long way away from their target. Roderick didn't seem to care too much about that. He broke a number of batting records in league cricket last season playing for Cheltenham, and he's converted that kind of form rather easily into the first-class arena. He, though, may have started to feel some nerves as he approached his maiden 100. Not that any nerves were noticeable on the outside at any rate, as this shot for a couple took him to 3 figures, a brilliant effort which had occupied 157 balls with 14 fours included in that, and he wasn't about to stop there. His partnership with Smith was worth 109 runs. Smith made 32 of them and was out the moment the second new ball was taken by Charlie Schreck, who found the edge with his 4th delivery. Schreck also removed David Payne in the same way for 4, although this time it produced a blinding catch from Geraint Jones to leave the Gloucesters on 257 for 8. Kent would have fancied wrapping up the game so the weather on Saturday wouldn't matter, but Craig Miles stuck it out for 11 overs with Roderick. They carried the total to 299 before Miles was bowled by a turner from Treadwell on 22. But Kent were unable to grab the winning wicket in the 6 overs that remained, and that was largely down to the rampant Roderick, who went to his 150 before stumps were drawn on what was a day he will probably never forget. He certainly shouldn't. Gloucestershire ended the day, after an additional half hour was claimed, clinging on 307 for 9, with Roderick making half of those runs after spending 5 hours at the crease. A magnificent effort from the 21-year-old, who's now made a name for himself with both bat and gloves this summer. Whether he can add many more on the last day will depend on the weather. Armageddon is expected in the southeast.